Hi guys, today I am going to be doing a self-tanner review, but this is not just any self-tanner, this is an all-natural self-tanner, so I am so excited to do this video. The self-tanner that I'll be talking about, before I just go on and jab about something else, I do want to show it to you. The self-tanner that I will be talking about today is called Beauty by Earth Self-Tanner. This is what the packaging looks like. A very natural product-esque looking packaging, nice brown tones. Now this is what the box looks like because I did save the box because, I mean, you know, it looks very cute and goes along with the whole natural theme. I love it. So anyway, this is what the product looks like that I'll be talking about today. I bought this off Amazon. I saw all of these amazing reviews that were raving about this, so I decided to go ahead and give it a try. I have been wearing this for a couple weeks now, so I'm ready to do my final thorough review. I'll be talking about the good and not so good things about this product because, as you know, no products are perfect and all products have something good about them and something bad about them. Before we continue, I do want to ask you to like this video if you do like this video, and if you want to see more of my chatty videos, then do make sure to subscribe down below. This really helps me out. So let's talk about the good things first because it has a lot of good things about it. The first thing obviously is that it is all natural. I'm talking extracts, oils, no dyes, no chemicals, nothing like that. There are little icons on the back that actually tell you all the good things about this product when it comes to like sustainability and naturalness and stuff like that. So it's an all natural product. It's animal cruelty free, something sustainable, carton made with wind energy, and it's also made in USA. So it's one of those brands that you can feel really good about supporting and buying from because it's got all these cool little things that it's trying to do. It's trying to be environmentally friendly, it's trying to be natural, it's trying to be good to animals. So I just love that a lot, and I want to support those companies and those products that are trying to do that. So another really good thing about this self tanner is that it is moisturizing. I have been using the St. Moritz, I'm probably saying this wrong and I'm sorry, but I'm sticking with it, which is a really good self tanner, but it's not moisturizing. In fact, it's the opposite. It's drying to my skin. If you do use this a lot, you might find that it's going to be drying for your skin. It's still a really good self tanner. I highly recommend checking this out if you're at Ulta and they have this little guy there. It's not an all natural product. This is like the opposite of this one here, but it's still a good product to check out if you don't necessarily want an all-natural self-tanner, if you're okay with using something that's not all-natural. Anyway, so this is a drying product for my skin, and that's not good because I do apply self-tanner about twice a week, and I just find that if I apply this more than once a week, my skin just doesn't like it. It tends to flake, it tends to feel dry, and it doesn't look good. Like, the tan part of it looks good, the color of it looks good, but the texture and just the dullness of it does not. So I wanted to pick out a self-tanner that was moisturizing, and this one right here definitely is. I mean, it's got butters and oils in it, so it's really, really moisturizing, and I have been using this for a couple weeks, and I did notice that my skin is coming back to being its normal self. It's definitely looking and feeling a lot smoother and just moisturized and healthy, so I love that. Another thing I like about this self-tanner is the color. The color isn't ideal, but it's good. So I'm wearing this self-tanner on myself right now. I have a couple layers of it on because I have been applying and reapplying it for a couple of weeks. So this is the color of the self-tanner. It is a little bit yellow-orangey as opposed to reddish green color, which sounds really bad, like red green. Who wants to wear red green on themselves as a self tanner? But those are the undertones that make that self tanner look a little bit more natural. Something like this actually looks a little bit more natural on me as opposed to something like this. But that being said, I have used a lot of self tanners that just looked completely yellow and completely orange and just did not look natural. This is kind of in between. I wouldn't say this is the most natural looking self tanner out there. It does give you that yellowy orangey color, but it's a lot more natural than most other self tanners that I have tried, but it's not as natural as something like this, at least in my opinion. Alright, another thing I want to talk about is the smell. This smells absolutely heavenly for a fake tanner. It has a coconutty smell too, which I think actually a lot of self tanners do. I don't know what it is about coconutty, chocolatey smell. Maybe it's because the color, maybe a lot of people like that smell, maybe that certain type of a scent masks the fake tan scent. You know what I'm talking about, that fake tan scent. This does have a little bit of that fake tan scent, but it's not terrible. It's not like a super strong one. It's a lot less strong than this one here. I know I'm referring to this one here, but that's just because it's my current go-to self tanner. That's not an all-natural one. And actually a lot of other self tanners do have that fake tan scent. This one is a lot lighter on that fake tanness scent than most other ones out there. And last thing I want to mention as far as the good qualities of this product is that it's not extremely staining. So I typically apply it at night when I'm out of the shower. I go ahead and apply my self tanner, and then next morning I take another shower to wash it off. This one right here, I definitely need to do that because it just stains everything, and when you take a shower you see all this like orange water come off of you when the self tanner comes off. It doesn't completely come off, it does stain your skin, so some of it stays behind, but a lot of it does wash away. Now with this one right here, I don't actually need to take a shower the next morning after I applied the night before. I wouldn't go ahead and say just wear your most expensive white dress with this fake tan on and you're gonna be good to go. This might stain your clothes a little bit if you don't wash it off, or stain your sheets, but the staining compared to this one here or most other self tanners is absolutely minimal, so I really like that. Also, if you have like a splatter of water on your skin, this is not going to completely wash away in those areas. You know what I'm talking about? Because when you apply something like this on your skin, this is a mousse by the way, especially something that's really dark, and you accidentally drip water on yourself, you see those little marks of water on your skin. If you cry, whew, you're screwed. Your face is going to be literally covered with streaks. With this one here, I didn't notice as much of that, which is good, because after I take a shower and apply my self tanner, what I typically do is I go and make dinner, go in the kitchen, right? I end up covering myself with water. Little splatters of water that you wouldn't otherwise notice were on you, but just because you see those little dots, you're like, oh, I guess water went on there. So anyway, this one doesn't do that as much, which is really good. Alright, so next let's talk about the not so good things about this self tanner. Now, I wouldn't say those are deal breakers. I do think this self tanner is ultimately worth trying out if you like to self tan, and if you want something that's moisturizing, if you want something that's all natural, and something that you would be proud and feel good about supporting, because this seems to be like a good brand that's trying to do something good in the world, and I love that. Now, it's not a perfect product, and here are some of the not so good things about it, at least in my opinion. This is totally my own review, my own experience, so you might find it totally different for yourself, but this is what I'm thinking. So the first thing is that this is a really slow developing self tanner, which is not a good thing because you don't know where the color went on, you don't know how it went on, you don't know if it's really evenly spread, do you know what I mean? Like, especially around your feet and hands, sometimes you can apply too much or not blend it out enough. That's kind of a drawback for me. I would appreciate to see the color develop a lot quicker so I can see how I'm doing as far as applying it. First time I actually applied this, the first couple times, I was really nervous because I know this is supposed to be a self tanner, but there's no ingredients in here that would tell me that it would change color. Like, there's no dyes or anything like that. It's like extract of this and extract of that, and I'm like applying this and I see no color change because I'm used to this, which literally changes your color instantly. So I'm like, uh-oh, this is just a lotion, this isn't gonna do anything. But after a couple hours it does slowly start to develop. It's just really slow, and unfortunately you can't see where you're applying it. You have to judge and just be really good about blending every little nook and cranny, especially when you're doing your hands, especially if you're doing your feet, any like elbows, any creases basically that you might be quick about, you have to be really good and thorough about, or any dry patches as well, you have to be really good about that. Now, another thing is I think the color is actually a little bit too light. Now, I'm used to, again, I'm keep mentioning this, but I just want to have a reference point to compare this to something else, and this color is dark, but I do want to apply self tanner and then feel like I have a good amount of tan on myself and to not have to reapply it every single day because the color is so light. This color isn't super light, and maybe that's exactly what you're looking for. Maybe you have a really pale skin tone and you don't want to look like you just overdid this, because with this self tanner with the darker color you can overdo it and just look kind of odd, because an hour earlier you were really pale and then an hour later you look really brown. But with this one here, again, I think it's more of a gradual self tanner where you have to continuously apply this a couple days in a row to get the perfect tan level. Now I think I have 4 coats of this on over the past couple of weeks. It wasn't like literally every single day I apply this. I apply this probably every couple days, and this is the color that I got. I am pretty pale, but I'm not the palest color. So, I mean, I don't know how much you can see, but it's not extremely dark. It is definitely noticeable. I do have a good amount of tan going on, but it's not like super dark. So if you do want something that's a little bit darker, this is the only color that I think they make the self tanner in, or at least that's the only color that I found on Amazon, and I just don't think it's extremely dark, and that's disappointing because I wish it was a little bit darker. Now on the other hand, a lighter color is easier to apply because if you do make a little mistake, you can't see that patch of darkness just showing through really well, so that's a good thing. But again, just wish it was a little darker. So another thing I want to mention is that it does not absorb really well as well. So some lotions absorb really well, some don't. This one doesn't, unfortunately. Now it does absorb eventually, but it takes a really long time for it to absorb. You have to really massage it in, and maybe that's a good thing because you're making sure that everything is evenly applied and massaged and everything like that. I wish it absorbed into the skin a little bit better. It's not a terrible absorption time rate, but it's not the best either, and you end up having this like white film on your skin for a while until it does absorb. I would say it takes about 10 to 15 minutes for me to apply this, and I just wish it was a little bit more absorbent, if that makes any sense. Now when it comes to applying this self tanner, I don't recommend you using a mitt like this here. I did use a mitt the first time I applied this, and honestly it just was kind of messy. This is a lotion. You really want to apply this with your fingers. Now I was really worried about my fingers being stained, and as long as you wash it right away, nothing's gonna happen. This is so light that you're not gonna have any darkness on your hands, as opposed to something like this, which you definitely want to apply with a mitt. You don't want to do this with your hands at all. This is literally gonna stain everything. So use a mitt like this, and maybe like this for your face. And with this one here, just use your fingers. A mitt's gonna absorb a lot of it. It's gonna not go on really smoothly. It's just gonna be weird. I tried this, didn't like it. Again, my own opinion, but I recommend you using your hands when you're applying this. And last but not least, this is about $24, I believe. I know the price changes just, you know, a couple dollars, but it's about $24. So it's not the cheapest self tanner out there. It's a pretty small tube, but again, you're buying all natural ingredients, you're buying cruelty-free product, you're buying made in America and sustainable packaging. Something sustainable is here. So you're paying extra money for that, and if you really care about that, then I think it's a well-priced product, but it's a lot more expensive than something like this, which not only will last you longer, but it's also cheaper. So it's a lot cheaper when you consider everything. So, but that's just part of the game when it comes to all natural products. They do tend to be a little bit more expensive because you're paying for better quality products, hopefully. And I wouldn't say this is like a bad thing, but I definitely would say that this is something to consider. And if you care about all natural products, then I wouldn't say this is terribly expensive either. So ultimately, my technique when it comes to self-tanning right now, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be using this once a week, and I'm going to be using this the second time to kind of upkeep the self-tan. This is going to give me the dark color. This is going to give me that just instant tan, and this is going to be my moisturizing color upkeep product. This is drying, so I don't want to be using this twice a week. Oh, I'm making a mess already. One thing I do want to mention before I end this video is that you do have acne prone skin. You do want to be careful because this is a moisturizing product. This can cause you acne. You have to be careful. Now, this did not cause me any acne on my back or chest as far as I know. I do have some chest acne, one pimple here, and I do have some back acne, but I've had that before, so you know, that's just my skin. And I don't apply this on my face because my face can't handle that. My face has enough things to worry about. So I don't recommend you applying this on your face if you do have acne prone skin, because it does have a lot of oils and moisturizing things that are going to block your pores potentially and cause you acne. This is not a definite thing, and again, everybody's skin is different, but just a heads up, I don't want you getting any acne from this because I don't want anybody to have any acne. Acne sucks. Can we all agree on that? Acne sucks. And yeah, I think that's kind of the end of the video. I hope this was helpful. I hope this was an interesting video to watch. I am so excited to be trying different kinds of products. I was really looking forward to trying an all-natural self-tanner. I'm actually trying all-natural deodorants now because why not? My boyfriend's using an all-natural deodorant and he's like really trying to convince me to switch over from my secret something deodorant to an all-natural one. So I am currently on the hunt for a good all-natural deodorant. If you know of any, please leave a comment down below, because I want to try as many good ones as I can and then maybe do a video about that. But anyway, thank you so much for watching my video. If you do have any questions or comments, or maybe you've tried this, then please leave a comment down below. I'd love to read them. You guys are absolutely awesome with leaving comments and suggestions and corrections and opinions. I love that. So yeah, thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you found this helpful. I hope you have an awesome day, and I will see you in the next video.